certainly knows Holmes, has known Holmes this whole season.
Oh my gosh, do they know houses? They also know football, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Because Tim hired this guy named Leo that knows everything that's going on. Tim and Leo know each other really well.
Bring the props in. We got a football segment, so let's bring this in too. We left Jalen Hurts out for the first time.
Well, we need to have him in, not Mahomes. We got this coming in now too. So all right, let's get right to this as we can bring it in. I want to see this. this football.
Bring it in. We got to dress up the set. Leo does not want an empty set. Okay, so there we go. Awesome. Now we're set.
Jeremy's not going to be mad. If he is, Scott and I will take the heat.
Fine. But you know who's not mad because he's talking football with us. It's Leo Schved. Leo, our fantasy expert turned football everything. How are you on this fine day, wherever you are?
Gentlemen, awesome. Doing incredible. We're ready for the Super Bowl with a great matchup, Chiefs and Eagles. And the other thing we got to look forward to is once the NFL adds this 18th game, we'll be doing football and the NFL into mid-February. They're trying to make it so it's a year-round event.
Of course,
how about that? It's got to be.
Brings in that money.
I love it.
All right, we've talked a lot. I can remember it's crazy. We were talking about fantasy football week 1, set and starters, and here we are. Final. This is it. The final game of the season. I want to dive in this matchup. You've talked a lot about it. We've asked you a lot of questions about it. Patrick Mahomes seems to be sitting at kind of the center of the discussion. Break it down. How are we going to see Pat do on this game?
Well, look, where do we start? This guy is elite. He has elite arm talent with accuracy and the ability to attack you vertically, especially now with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown healthy. Mm-hmm. The only way to beat this guy is to put pressure on him like Tampa Bay did in 2021. But in that game, the Chiefs were playing without their starting left tackle, so that made a huge difference. There really is no scheme that is going to slow him down, and if you show Mahomes zone and your rushers don't get home, it's death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, this guy is going to dink and dunk the ball down the field, and they will get in the end zone. Now, if you show him man coverage, the Chiefs have mismatches, and he'll pick you apart that way. So, and he's an underrated running threat. He's able to beat you with QB design runs, but also he improvises to keep the defense honest, and that puts such pressure on the defense. He is, in my opinion, the most complete talent that I have seen at the QB position in my lifetime.
Wow.
And that includes Montana and Brady, and I grew up a Montana
that's a big statement.
fan,
yeah.
Brady was awesome.
I mean, like you're saying, love him or hate him, like there's a lot of, it probably goes both ways, especially if you're in Kansas City, you obviously love the guy. We were talking about the AFC championship game there too. They're just, I don't want to say it, but they're like the best team. I mean, they're so good. He is so good. And Andy Reid calls amazing plays. I don't understand. Like my Bears, as we always joke around, could never think of a play, some of these plays that they call. It's just amazing. They really are good.
Gary, you hit it on the head. They're a complete football team. They've got a great defense. Their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is amazing. His timing with when to blitz, when to back off and do all those things. But Andy Reid, he is the maestro of that coaching staff. Does anybody remember when the Eagles fired Andy Reid in 2012?
Yes.
I mean,
the Eagles
do you let a guy like that who's got, the Super Bowls, on his fingers,
right,
with the Chiefs? How do you let a guy like that go?
Seriously.
Well, is it Reid or is it the great players? Well, it's both. But one thing we know that even the best coaches are incapable of winning games by themselves. So you remember how many games Bill Belichick won after Tom Brady left. And coaches support great players, especially if they're truly great coaches like Andy Reid. Reid, he happens to have an elite collection of players, starting with Mahomes, who we talked about, and that also allows him to do what he does, which is, scheme. And
right.
He's outstanding at X's and O's, and scheming players into favorable matchups and situations that increases their likelihood that they will be successful. Players really love that. They appreciate that about him, and that is Andy Reid's superpower. He's also a good leader of men.
He's also really good on TV commercials. I don't know if you know that. He's also spectacular.
He's fantastic, yeah.
All right, hey, Leo, look, before we let you go, we were going to ask you to give us your prediction for the game. But interestingly, you and we and our research staff found a clip from over a month ago where we happened to ask you if you had any opinions about the playoffs and ultimately who was going to be in the big game. Let's take a look together.
You need elite teams, right? And I'm going to say Philly. I'm going to say that Kansas City's going to beat Philly in the Super Bowl.
Kansas City beats Philly in the Super Bowl.
Now, okay, I don't want those teams all in there too, but he's spot on. He's probably right on. Those two teams should be there. But I'm telling you, I would love to see the Bills and the Lions. I want the Lions to win it all. They haven't been there in so long. I also would love to have the Vikings, either the Vikings or the Lions, to get in to face probably the Bills in the AFC, just because I want a new team. I mean, it'd be cool if the Texans could pull it out, but no. But he's probably right. I mean, those two teams, they just seem to get there.
Come on, because look, that is not only, that shows that why you are the expert and this guy should talk about groceries.
What? I said he's right.
My favorite part about Gary is the passion that he displayed when he told you he wanted the Lions, he wanted the Bills, he wanted a new team, and that's what makes football fun. We all have a rooting interest. We're rooting for something. It keeps it interesting, and Gary, kudos to you for actually caring about this stuff.
He cares. And Leo, we care about you. Thanks for doing this all season long. Tim Collum obviously hooking it up. Leo, we'll check in with you after the big game. There it is, all that information. The great Leo Schved chimes in. He called it weeks ago.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the man. He's absolutely incredible.